We are 8 days away from the special session getting underway in Topeka. That's because they're going to figure out what to do about potential tax cuts and then also explore the possibility of the Chiefs moving to the other side of the state line. Dan Hawkins is the Speaker of the House in Kansas. He joins us here on KCMO Talk Radio. Dan, thanks for the time. I wanted to start off with this. The Royals announcing over the weekend or reporting over the weekend that they are also interested in looking at the state of Kansas. Is the legislature interested in talking to the Kansas City Royals?
Oh, sure we are. This issue has always included both. If the Chiefs were the ones that showed interest, but it always, and when you see the bill that will come out, it will say Chiefs and Royals. So absolutely, we're interested in talking with them.
Okay, so then the letter last week, though, was only geared towards the Chiefs. Why is that?
Well, because the Royals really hadn't shown any interest. The Royals were focused on downtown Kansas City, Missouri, and certainly maybe another area north of downtown. So they were focused on that, and so they hadn't really showed any interest. And so we knew that the Chiefs could have some interest, and so we wrote the letter to the CEO, Lamar Hunt.
Gotcha. All right. So Dan Hawkins is here on KCMO Talk Radio. Now, let's get into just the star bond usage in general. As I understand it, these things have obviously generally been used for smaller projects. What is the largest, from a financial perspective, star bond project that the state has issued to date?
So the Speedway is what would really be comparable to the Chiefs. And the Speedway was our largest and most successful, by far, development using star bonds. And, of course, we can see what's happened out there. It starts out with the Speedway. They pay off their bonds 7 years early. We have the Sporting KC that's also used star bonds. They're doing phenomenally well. That is the epitome of star bonds, is this type of project. Star bonds have been used by smaller projects, and they work. They work just fine. But this is truly what star bonds is about, because it brings people from outside of our area. And star bonds are based on the sales tax in the area. Mm-hmm. There's a big misconception out there that the state's on the hook, counties are on the hook, cities are on the hook, and it's just absolutely patently false. And those people who have said it are misleading people in what they're saying.
So what's the monetary, like the actual bonds issued on the Speedway and on Sporting KC Stadium? What were those? What are those numbers?
I can't tell you what those numbers are.
Oh, okay.
I don't have that available.
Well, I guess the reason I'm asking is because obviously I think that it's safe to say either of these teams coming to Kansas would be by far the largest star bond project in state history, right?
Well, it'll probably be, I would say it probably will be the largest. I'm not sure how much larger it will be than the Speedway. That Speedway, I don't know what it cost. It had to cost well over $1 billion to build. Mm-hmm. And then all of the, the stuff that came with it as a result of the Speedway being there has truly been phenomenal. But I don't, we're talking about, we believe somewhere around $700 million in star bonds for the Chiefs. We don't know the exact number yet, but we believe that that's probably close to what it'll be, and then the rest will have to be financed through equity of other people.
Okay, all right. So, and I'm just looking here. It looks like the Speedway construction cost $225 million back in '99. So you're saying your limit would be $700 million in star bonds for either of these teams? That's kind of your max out number.
Well, I'm just saying that's kind of what the estimate is now. I don't know exactly what the final number is, and we won't until the project's actually put together. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But that's kind of an estimate of where we think it'll be, but, we'll have to wait and see.
Gotcha. Okay, Dan Hawkins, Kansas Speaker of the House, is on KCMO Talk Radio. Because I guess the question then from anyone's angle would be how you get enough sales tax revenues to obviously pay off a project of this size. especially with a team like the Chiefs where you've got, 8, 9 games a year, and then maybe you get a few more concerts and things of that nature. Is that what the special session is for, to kind of crunch those numbers, or has somebody already done that?
No, I would say that there's probably somebody that's done it. The special session is for taxes. It's not for star bonds. The special session was called for taxes, and taxes are our prime mission. We have to deliver tax relief to our people. And anybody that thinks that this is going to trump taxes, they're just wrong. Taxes is the first and the foremost of this special session. If things work out well, then we will take up the star bonds for the Chiefs. But
okay.
Everything has to work out.
Is it fair to say no Chiefs talk without tax cuts?
It is very fair to say that.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, it's factual to say that.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Where do you feel like the governor's office is at then? Because you guys obviously pass a bill. She vetoes it. You pass basically a very similar bill that I think, as I understand it at least, got closer to the numbers that she wanted to see, basically nailed the numbers that she wanted to see, and she vetoed that. So what are you going into here 8 days from now?
Well, I actually believe Ty and I, the Senate President, and I have been in meetings with the governor's staff, and we've talked extensively about it. The governor wants a deal too. To think that the governor is just calling us in and not going to look at what we do is just wrong. She wants to get tax relief as well as we do. I think we want it a whole lot more than she does. She's moved the goalposts constantly on every single tax bill that we've sent her. She goes out and publicly says something. We try to meet what she says, and then when she gets it, she's already moved the goalposts and says, well, that's not where it's got to be, and she vetoes it. I think she looks bad every time she does that. And I quite frankly think the people in Kansas are starting to get onto that. And so she needs a deal as well. We believe that she will look at what we send her, and I think she will sign it this time. I truly believe that she will sign the bill, and we're going to ask her to sign the bill.
You're going to ask her to sign the same bill she vetoed, or are you going to tweak it a little more?
No, this bill will be different. It's going to be based on the dual rate, which we're stuck on that. That's where we want to be. Guess what? All legislation starts in the House. Mm-hmm. In the Senate, not in the governor's office. It starts with 165 people coming up with something and then agreeing to pass it on to the governor. And then the governor gets a chance to either veto, sign, or let it become law. We're going to ask her to sign this. And it's important for her to sign it because people do need relief.
Yeah.
And she's been the one blocking it so far, so it's time for her to sign a bill.
All right, Dan Hawkins, we appreciate the time, sir. We'll be following along next week. We'll probably talk to you next week and see how this all plays out on KCMO. Thanks so much. Have a great week.
Anytime, Pete.
All right, there you go. Dan Hawkins, the Speaker of the House in Kansas on 95.7 FM.